Is the screen visible to all of you? Perfect. So today I'll give you a complete overview of why we are doing what we are doing. So let's begin with the first component of this. Now, when I say previous day revision, can someone tell me why are we doing this? Why do you think we are doing this? You can unmute yourself and speak. Text in the chat box. Why are we doing this? Guys, you need to know why are we doing this? Submitting it every day at 5 o'clock, waking up and doing this. So why do you think is the reason? What is the reason? Why are we doing this? Okay, continue to the previous day studies. Recall the things read yesterday to read in the concept for longer period for long-term retention. Okay, fair enough. These are some of the responses which are reasonably right. Okay, fine. Now let's try to those. Now let's look at the ultimate goal of why we are doing what we are doing. On the exam day, okay, when you're writing the exam, your ultimate capability is writing. Because the examiner would not know how much you have studied, how much you remember, how much you think, how much you are motivated, you're interested. Any other dimension, the examiner cannot understand. Writing is the only form of communication with which examiner will decide whether you can become a CA or not, or CA into whatever is applicable for you. So, for you to write, just before you write, like when you go and sit into the exam and start, before you start writing the answer, there is other function which is called recall. So these are the two functions, writing and recall. Recall and write. Recall and write. Now, how do you recall? You see a question as a context. Now I'm not giving you the specific context because that will be a bit more tougher than what you're doing. Now I'm not giving a specific context. You're just writing whatever you could remember during a particular point of time. Now for you, the context is only the time, period of time, not anything else, right? We'll add that dimension also as we proceed forward. But for now, yes, Twinkle, you're right. A pictorial image, cumulative, all of this are right, totally fine. But the most critical objective is why on the exam day, your ability to keep writing something fast and recall. You have to be in a position to recall fast and write fast. Recall, write, recall, write. When I say fast, I'm not talking about diluting the quality. Quality stays intact. Quality, in fact, even has to improve further than what you're already having. So your ability to recall something and write, recall and write is very, very important. And this cannot be attained in a day or a couple of days of writing one or two mock tests. No, it has to be a fundamental ability. So every single day, when you wake up, when you try to recall, your brain is forced to think through. Because as I said, if you're not able to recall what you studied yesterday, on the examination day, it will be very hard and very complicated because you may have to recall things which you have not studied for three weeks or 4 weeks. During the revision, you will be touching the points. But then the primary studies might happen right now, right? Let's say you're preparing for auditing right now. And then next cycles are only revision. So it is important for you to have a reasonable ability of recalling things when it is required. Okay. Now, out of the students sitting here, if you look at your scores, how many of you would have improved at least 5 to 7 marks in your paper if this was good for you? All of you might have a decent ability, but I want to know if you are in a position to recall faster and write better. like only this function. I'm not talking about syllabus completion. I'm not talking about revision anything. On the examination day, when you're sitting in the examination hall, how many of you think if you have this ability, if you had this ability, or if you have this ability now, you'll be able to improve 5 to 7 marks in each paper? How many of you understood the importance of it, or how many of you noticed the gap? Whoever has an issue with recall and writing, or whoever understands what I'm talking about, where if I'm in a position to recall fast and write better, I want show of hands from this. Okay, Twinkle, switch on your camera. Let's start with Twinkle. Hari, also switch on your camera. Like, let's have a quick conversation, and I'll help you figure it out. So both Twinkle and Hari, switch on your cameras along with you can unmute and switch on. Yeah. So okay, guys. So both of you are writing CA final. So probably you'll be working on something very soon. So right now we're talking about one particular component where your ability to recall fast and your ability to write better has to improve, right? So Hari, to begin with, what was the issue you faced? Like, what issue did you face in your exam?
Actually, when I'm writing the exam, we have to do the entire revision, quick revision in the previous day, right? Otherwise, we can't recall the things while writing. Exactly when the lab exam, I can't. I was not able to revise everything in the previous day. The first three chapters are very important. The remaining all chapters I revised, but left the three chapters. So most of the about 30 marks came from those three chapters. So I was not able to recall the things. I revised it earlier, but in the previous year I didn't revise it. So I didn't recall everything, and I didn't write exact answers about the questions that came from the three chapters, directors or everything in the first three chapters. So these procedural aspects I can't recall very what do you say spontaneously without revising in the previous time.
Right.
When we do these iterations of revisions every day, we will be able to recall it easily rather than revising in the previous day.
You got it. What about you, Twinkle?
So broadly, there were two issues. Like one was like there is a heading for each answer. Like some answers are there, like it's for understanding purpose, they seem similar. But if we see the question, like it's a role or a quality, like we can differentiate it. If I with the PDR, I can like memorize like no, it's a role point. No, it's a qualities points. So I have to write that. If I that see question in the question I see that word, then I can easily remember like these are the points. And the second point is like in the answer we have to not only uh, give what we have understand it, but there are also the keywords and like line like with appropriate, maybe not appropriate meaning in the like understanding purpose, but this line is needed by the examiner. We will write that, so that for like with word to word, like some lines are there, context like phrases are there, we have to write that exactly in the paper. And with that like PDR I can memorize like हाँ I have studied this, and actively हो जाता है ऐसे, like सुबह एकदम एक्टिव माइंड हो जाता है एकदम सुबह करने से कि हमने पीछे क्या पढ़ा था, थोड़ा सा कॉन्फिडेंस भी आता है, या आई कैन रिमेम्बर व्हाट आई हैव स्टडीड अर्लियर, which I was not like remembering in the DER, or like I'm not getting that confidence. With the PDR I can much like thoda sa confidence बढ़ता है.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. So for both of you, you're already submitting day and revision at the end of the day, right? Now, what is the difference between your memory power when you're submitting a day and revision and when you're doing it in PDR? Like, why are we doing it twice? Or how different do you find day end revision and PDF?
Sir, I'm not submitting DER.
Okay, so yeah,
Actually, I'm not. मतलब मेरे को नहीं पता कि वो submit
that's
करना
okay.
है.
Harry, what about you? I'll get back to you on this.
In DER, we will be writing everything we read in the same day. So
Hmm.
there is no that forgetting aspect when you are submitting DER.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm.
So when we come to PDR, we will be having 12 hours gap before what we read. So there will be forgetting aspect. So when we try to memorize the things, there will be some gap when we recall the things. So when we can't recall when we are submitting it, we were able to revise those aspects which we don't recall spontaneously when we revise the next time.
Hmm.
So and also it also improves the recalling ability when we submit the previous revision because we try to recall before the exam. So it stays in our mind when we recall it before the exam also. So it helps in submitting
Understood.
PR.
No, but then if you're saying that there is a memory lapse between the previous night and next morning, it's a red flag, right? Because that should not happen. You should be able to carry forward this for weeks and months together. So how do you think you want to fix it? Ideally, it should not happen, right? Whatever you write in the night, you should be able to do it, or even better, because it's the second time you're doing it. So how are you looking at this gap?
So we may be writing the cumulative exams also, right? At the end of the week, I mean, 7 days, after 7 days, we will complete the subject and we will be writing exam with cumulative revision. And after the 21 days challenge also, you are writing an exam after cumulative revision. So after that also, we will be having 50-hour challenge and 20-hour challenge.
Right.
So at every cumulative revision, we will be able to revise the things at very much fast pace than what we are doing earlier. Actually, in the previous attempt, I have done only one time of revision up to the day before exam. What happens, we may be not looking at the subject we have read 1 month ago. So at this time, we will be having cumulative revisions three to four times. And we're also recalling everything at the end of the day and at the day after the day also. So these many cumulative revisions may able to memorize things very well and recall.
Fair. So thank you, Twinkle and Hari, for the quick insights. Now, one next goal for us to begin with is we should be able to replicate the quality and quantity of whatever is happening in the day end revision in the PDF. So Twinkle has reshared the links in the app chat box. You can use them and make sure you write. Nobody is going to tell you or remind you about day end revision at PDF. It has to happen every single day. Like your day should start with previous year revision and end with day end revision. This is for everyone forever until the last day of the last exam. So please remember this once for all. There is no spoon feeding or baby sitting around this. So everyone has to submit both of this because tomorrow this is the base using which we build every other technique. Now it's important that we do it. The next goal for the next 3 days is how are you going to replicate what you're doing in day end revision and so that it comes into the previous year revision. Okay, let's look at it. So we have a fancy number. Next whoever is submitting will be 1,000 PDF technically. Let's look at what Anurag has done. Consolidated financial statements. Okay. See, at some point of time, the way we built it is when you talk about a particular standard, let's say CFS, everything that is required to answer a question in CFS should be reflecting in PDF. If any question is coming from CFS, is this information enough? If yes, that's a good submission. If no, that has to be improved. So the answer key has to be there. Like for the entire chapter, for the entire content, for the topic which you're writing, PDF should essentially contain the answer key. Let's say if I have this information, I should be able to go and write any question which might come from 110. That is the ideal goal. At some, see, you may not be able to get there immediately or anytime soon, but the ideal goal is when you're submitting PDR, you are saying that, okay, this topic is done, dusted forever. I don't have to come and redo it. And this shows the PDR shows jo bhi hai. This is good enough. This is good enough for me to revise. So the idea is to make your day and revision and PDR as your revision notes. More importantly, a PDR, because day and revision when you're writing for the first time, it's far more detailed. PDR when you do it again, it's far more precise and sharp, and the content is concise. So that will help you to quickly revise things at the examination day, and that is exactly the objective of PDR. So for all of you who are writing different topics from tomorrow onwards, keep this in mind. Where is this good enough? Let's say Kushal has done strategic analysis in internal environment. Now it has a list of things, but does it cover the chapter comprehensively? Where all the key insights, all the hit topics, are the most important topics covered here. So this should be good enough to answer any question. This should have that kind of triggers. Okay, that is exactly how it is. Like a single page chart. When you talk about revision material, a lot of faculties give you a single page chart, right? A bird's eye view. So that is good enough. Or you can write mnemonics. Anything which is required to answer any question from this topic. Okay, Anurag, you have done it twice, is it? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. So for a couple of 3-4 hours, this is fine. Yeah, Vamshi has improved as compared to yesterday. This is fine. If you look at it, both the I'll tell you how the difference works. Now let's see. Both Vamsi has done AS 110, and also Anurag also has done the same, I believe. And now both of them has done the same topic, but you see how differently they capture information, right? So the topic is the same, the textbook is the same when ICI gives them. Now, different students kind of interpret the game differently. Starting with the reference material, both of them would have studied different material. Both of them would have learned it differently. Both of them would have understood it differently. So that is the reason why, that is a significant reason why the interpretation and the approach to the game is very, very important. If you see this, now this is what he has captured. Now let's look at 2 more examples from this topic. So Vamsi has done it very differently than how Anurag has done it. So this is exactly how it gets reflected in the exam also. So it is important to figure out the right way. What exactly is the right way to do certain things? And it's not easy and it's not obvious. This is one thing which I totally liked. This is superb. Alvin is doing a good job. So this way, it's very technical and precise. Is able to jot down, and that too using this Google Tracker itself is able to create a short notes. This is really good. This is something which should definitely be helpful for him in multiple revisions. This is good. This is fine, but have to improve. Guys, you have to do it with a lot of intent. The intent should be as strong as you're writing an exam. Should be like you're writing you're writing a 10 to 15 minute exam. We'll have a relook at the time. Should we increase the time further is something which we'll discuss for the next week and decide what exactly is the ideal time to be given for previous day revision. Ideally, it's 20 minutes and 10 minutes here and there, day and revision and PDR. So then 30 minutes you'll be able to revise everything. That is the initial understanding. But yeah. Harsha, I have to redo it. Okay, you studied for 3 years, but still there's nothing. You just wrote some side headings. This is not enough and this is not useful. So I have to redo it. Manikanta, yeah, you're done well. This is also decent. Yeah, so this is fine, sir. Especially when I mentioned the matrix. Now he has given all the components, including examples. So that way he would be in a position to replicate any question coming from this. Yes, this is fine. Okay, this is also fine. So it covers a lot of the most important formula. Yeah, this is good. So this is good. If you see, by looking at it, this gives me the trigger to work upon further. Now, I cannot write this as it is in the main exam, but then it gives me reasonable triggers to work upon the formula and use them and crack and solve certain problems. So this is a good example of a PDR. This is good. Okay, so one call which we are going to take is how can you replicate the quality of day end revision into the previous day revision? So that is one. Okay, somebody has hit 1,000. Let's see this. Okay, Twinkle has done it. Great. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine, but you can improve the quantum. Yes, this is fine. So we have 1,000 plus responses here, which will give us fantastic insights. And also let's look at the day end revision so that you'll understand the difference slightly here and there. So he mentioned about international financial management. Okay, this is reasonably clear. Let me check. Krishna, did you submit your PDR also today? Krishna, you're there? Why am I not able to find your PDR of the day?
So I have submitted, sir.
Where is it? This is the one, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I thought when you mentioned yesterday's date, okay. When you're submitting the PDR, please mention the same date. Okay. Today's
Yeah,
date.
sir. Done, sir.
Automatically.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's it. So this is what you have done yesterday, day and revision. Now, what is international capital budgeting complexities? Why is it exactly the same? Like, were you able to remember in that precision?
No, sir. What I did was I focused only on theory parts in the day.
Okay.
And the problem solving, I wrote only the skimming part. So I did not able to correlate with how to summarize the problems. The theory part I can easily replicate, sir.
Okay, so because one thing which I liked about it is, surprised about this is, whatever you wrote yesterday in 30 minutes, okay, now today were you able to write it in 10 minutes? How was it? Like, how could you do this? Because you almost wrote the same content, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because I wrote in the notes also the same points.
Same. Okay, so you're repeatedly writing it. So
Yes,
now,
sir. First, I'm not doing in the Google Sheet for the first time. I will write in
good.
note.
Nice.
And then I will convert it into notes in the day, and sir.
Okay.
So again in the morning, I will first see the notes
Okay.
and then come back
Right.
to the Google Sheets.
Okay, I understood. Now, when you're doing it in 3 cycles, it takes good amount of time, right? 15 minutes there, here and there. Now,
Yes.
why are you investing so much time, or do you think it's worth it?
Sir, I feel comfortable in writing the day in revision much more than in for typing in Google Sheets. Also,
no, I'm not talking about it. Say typing and writing are the same, but the cycles which I'm talking about. Now, in terms of doing it, when you're doing it 2 to 3 cycles, are you able to remember it better? Because the point is, if you're investing time, it has to add some value in one of the process, right?
Yes, sir.
Is it helping you to remember things better? or what would work better for you, writing or just reading or revising it directly?
No, sir, writing it's only making sense, sir.
Okay.
Because in the last attempts, I used to only read. I did not put it into words.
Okay.
Maybe that's because of recalling also. What you discussed today. Revision is entirely different from recalling, sir. Revision is
Yeah.
seeing the book again and again.
Yes.
But recalling is doing without seeing, or we pull back the memories.
Right.
So that is taking a hard amount of time for me. That to recall things is much more tougher than revision.
Yes. Yes. Wonderful. Good. So this is what I'm talking about for the rest of you. Like he was able to convert whatever is there in DER to the previous revision. So this is something which is a very good ability or quality. This is the ultimate goal. Yeah, you're done. Now, as we proceed forward, what we'll be doing is we'll be improving each and every technique very, very precisely by putting in multiple cycles of iteration. So the target for the next week, now this week we're moving towards the conclusion. Tomorrow we have to finish up the topics. 13th, I believe we are supposed to do the cumulative revision, and the last day we're writing an exam. So once we are done with this, before we enter the next week, the targets will be further refined. Next week targets will be far more refined and slightly aggressive. Probably one more extra will be added. And I'm expecting detailed completion. Now I know that most of you are around 50-60% of the targets. I understand that. But as we proceed forward, you have to tighten the day. You have to tighten the day because 1.5 day before the exam, you cannot say complete only 60%. No matter what, no matter how you feel, you'll have to go and figure out the target, figure out a way to finish the target, right? So you have to add that level of intensity. That intensity is slightly missing in some of you. So we have to add that layer of intensity. Today I'll be spending some time with the offline kids or offline students. So once I fix it, probably a day after, I'll also spend some time with students who are doing only online. So that way, we are trying to bring a conclusion to the first 1 week. Please understand, this is a fabulous opportunity to fill all your gaps. We cannot keep doing 21 days challenge every 21 days. That's not going to happen. So when there's an opportunity provided, forget everything, jump into this, solve everything so that the next 1-2 months will become seamless. Okay, so when you're not able to write everything in previous revision, that's a red flag. You have to think very clearly. You have to think very, very clearly and ask yourself, why am I not able to replicate something which I already did last night? It's a very important question. If you're not able to just sleep and wake and write once again, if the quality is dipping, quantity is dipping, there's something wrong with your memory process that has to be fixed. You can't take it light. Adding more and more content, it's like a bucket with holes. Don't work like a dumb donkey where you're just reading without understanding what you understood or what you remember, what you're able to write. Like that is a classical problem of a typical CA student, right? Dumping without understanding how he's processing it and what is their ability to replicate in the main exam. It's not going to happen automatically. How would it happen automatically? It's a very, very, very complex ability to replicate. Replication of something which you learn into a systematic format within the time is a very complex and hard ability. It's not going to happen automatically. It's worth spending almost 2 to 3 hours only on this. If you look at the entire revision cycle, X amount for capturing information, X amount for processing information and remembering information, X amount for presenting information. I would rather say let's say 4:3:3 is the best optimum ratio. I'm talking about almost 3 hours focused on this, but yes, at practical level, you're not yet conducive to get there. But as we go forward, especially in April, that is exactly what we are going to do. It's like 4:3:3, or at least 5:3:2. That is the level at which we are going to operate. So I wanted to brace up for that, and I want that enhanced quality every single day. Okay. Now, before I conclude, I want all of you to switch on your videos. We'll do box breathing technique. Now, this time I want to see you and understand how you're doing. So all of you switch on your videos. Switch on your videos. All right. So please keep your spine erect. Please keep your spine erect. Head straight. Okay, first exhale once, exhale air once, just exhale, simply exhale. Now we are entering a 4-step breathing process. We are entering a 4-step breathing process. Okay, we are starting with inhalation. Inhale slowly. Inhale slowly. Keep inhaling further. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed. Yeah. Inhale further. Continue inhalation. Now just stay there and retain the air. Okay, this is a new step, which is not, you're not accustomed to this. Purvaka, Kumbhaka is retention. After inhalation, retain the air. It's slightly difficult. Retain the air for 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale slowly. Slowly exhale. Keep exhaling slowly. Slowly exhale. 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 Now, once you're done with the exhalation, stay in the Shunyaka position. Just stay in the Shunyaka position. So this is where you're neither inhaling nor exhaling. This will help you improve your distress tolerance, your ability to stay out of your comfort zone. Okay, 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your breath. Keep your eyes closed. Relax your breath. Now we'll do the actual round. Now I just made you to understand what we are doing. Now we are doing one proper actual round. Okay, keep your eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed. Spine erect. Do it with a lot of intent. Do it with a lot of intent. Okay, this is one round which you're doing properly. Let's try to see if we can stay for 15 seconds. Slightly inconvenient, but that's okay. Don't worry about anything. I'm looking at you, I'm watching you. Don't worry about it. Okay, now we are starting with the first round, inhalation. Inhale slowly. Inhale as slowly as you can. Keep inhaling further. Inhale, inhale. Now stay there. Retain the air. Retain the air for 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now slowly start exhaling. Exhale, 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 exhale. Continue exhalation until the air is completely exhausted. Slow and controlled. Slow and controlled. You should have complete control over the breathing process. So completely exhale air. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now stay in the Shunyaka position. Neither inhalation nor exhalation. Stay there. Now just stay in the Shunyaka position. You're staying without any air in your lungs. Stay there for 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Relax your breathing. First, relax your breathing. Relax your breathing. Keep your eyes closed. Relax your breathing. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed. We'll do the third component of MOM today, where we are visualizing your success. Right now, we're in February, second week of February, and then we have 2 weeks and 2 months to go, right? We have roughly 75 days before you go and write your exams. So is it enough? As I've said multiple times, it's not about the availability of time. Utilization of the available time makes all the difference. In that context, yes. Is it enough to clear both groups? Yes. If yes, how? Let's say the target is 300 out of 600. We are currently around 200. Most of you would be in that range. So how do I move from 200 to 300? Let's say you are at 100. How do you move from 100 to 50? So either you have to add 50 marks or 100 marks, roughly around that, right? In this. So is it possible? Now, in terms of the time available, as I said, either you have to get 1 mark per day or 1.5 to 2 marks. Maximum is that. So if you have to do that, you have to cover the double in the denominator. If you have to get 1 mark in the numerator, you have to cover double in the denominator. Let's say you want to add 3 marks every single day. In the denominator, you should be able to cover at least 6 marks, at least. Now, this is exactly how it works. I'm talking about additional marks, not the total marks. So this way, in terms of using the next 75 days, what is the right plan? Number one, what you're already doing. You're waking up quite early. You're waking up quite early, which means you have extra time. This is not a substitute time, you have extra time. If you're not waking up, you're wasting it anyways. So from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m., you're having a head start, you're putting the best of your effort, and this is the most focused time. So this way, you're adding 2-3 hours for the entire 75 days, which is another 200 to 250 hours. It's 200 to 250 hours, which you're studying early in the morning, will easily add 15-20 marks easily, straightforward. So one single habit is adding this. Number two, because of studying for 2-3 hours before 9 o'clock, because of studying 2-3 hours before 9 o'clock, at 9 o'clock, you'll get a sense of accomplishment. That's called dopamine. Okay. Instead of scrolling Instagram videos and having imaginary thoughts, you do actual work and then you experience that burst of dopamine, which will set the fine context for the rest of the day. At 9 o'clock, if you're able to complete X amount of syllabus, you'll be in a very good position to complete the rest of the topics in the rest of the day. So that is about 9 o'clock. So 9 to 12, 9 to 10 once you have your breakfast, 10 to 1 once you do a solid study session where you have a carbohydrate surge, you'll be in a good state of energy. That will be done. And then once you take the lunch break, 2 to 5 exam study session. This is very, very important. This is very important because this is where you have to write the exam. So you have to train your body at least for 60-70 times in the same study session. Your body and mind will be flexible to sit for 3 hours. That is how you're doing it. And finally, after 5 o'clock, we call it the non-study window in general, but you can use that time to fix the gaps, have discussions and all of that. For now, the first 1 week, we are not pushing it very hard. And then at the end of the day, before you finish your dinner, please submit your day-end revision. This is exactly how you build this day. Once you do it for 75 days consecutively, the power of compounding, the power of consistency, which happens consecutively. I'm talking about consecutive consistency, not broken consistency. Consecutive consistency is extremely powerful, is extremely valuable. So you'll leverage the compounding effect of learning, compounding effect of memory, compounding effect of understanding. So because of this, by the time you reach April, you'll be clearly seeing that, okay, this attempt I might clear. I have a decent possibility. Unlike other attempts, you'll go into a different tangent. So once you see that happening in April, you'll focus on ensuring all the extra edges or unnecessary gaps are completely removed from your preparation process. Where others are in a mad rush to complete the syllabus, you are focusing on clearing the exam. Completing syllabus is different from clearing exams. So once you do this, 1.5 days before the exam, you know what to study, from where to study, how much to study, how to study, everything is sorted. So before you're entering the examination hall, you're going with a sense of accomplishment, you're going with a sense of clarity. So when you sit in this 3 hours, 15 minutes, you are having a clear-cut strategy and you are making sure you attempt everything in a linear process where we decided the first 1 hour, you're scoring 20 plus, second 1 hour, another 20. So by the end of 2 hours, you're in a position to pass, and the third 1 hour is to increase it to 50 or 60. So on the examination day itself, you'll know something. On the last day of the last exam, again, day 1, this is something which you have to visualize. On the last day of the last exam, for the first time, you feel that, okay, I've done well. I need not wait for results. I'm sure I might clear, at least you're reasonably sure. So that is one feeling which you like about yourself. That is about the examination day. Next, results day. So on that particular day, you would have seen a lot of result reaction videos of our own students and other students. So that day, you'll realize that, the effort which you put in, your parents put in, your family put in, everyone who has put in, who is involved in their preparation, are realized. So that 1 minute, is worth all the effort, right? That 1 minute, when people go to Olympics, they train for 10 years for that one moment of glory. So that 1 minute is worth it. So visualize the results day. And once that is done, the last and most important one, the convocation, as I said, so convocation is all about family. So convocation is all about your family. When they see you getting convocated, now that is the reason why they have worked hard all throughout. They are not super proud just because you clear 10th or 12th or graduation. They're all different. They're all process-oriented things. That is a factory-made process where you are dumped until first class, you'll automatically come to 10th class. You don't have to do anything. But in CA, it's not like that, right? If you are thrown into foundation, you don't automatically get into final or come out as a chartered accountant, right? You have to put in active and conscious work. So that is the reason why this has a lot of significance. So on that day, when they see you getting convocated with that black robe, yes, it's totally worth it, because for them, they have invested, I don't know, 15 to 20 years of effort, right? Effort, intensity, love, affection, everything, bled into years, literally. So they deserve to see you. They deserve to see the culmination of that effort. So that is one day which you definitely have to give them. So that's a mark of respect for them. So that is one day which you have to see. So constantly visualize this examination day, how you're approaching it and how you're feeling after you write the examination, and results day, that one particular day where it is important for you to invest every day to realize that one day, and convocation day, the complete journey. It's not just about your CA preparation alone. So they are seeing you as a complete, fully transformed professional who is ready to go and capture the world and fight in the market and make sure you're indicating that, okay, from now I'll take on, I'll take care of the family, whether it's your mother, father, whatever it is, you're indicating responsibility. You're showing to them that you have arrived. Okay, so these are the 3 days which you have to clearly visualize. And for all of this, you just only have to make sure every single day is used into this. Now, how would you increase money? How would you increase your net worth? Every single penny you have should be invested into a particular direction. Now, every single day you have should be invested into the linear goal. That's it. Now, nobody can disturb you except you, and it's a choice. Don't think that you're a victim or something. When you're saying overthinking, overthinking is a arrogant ambition, or I would say it's an arrogant addiction. Now, how can you overthink when you have so many things to study, when you have so many things to learn? How can you overthink? You're not being responsible. So don't look at it like a look at it from a victimhood perspective. Own responsibility. How can you afford to overthink? How can you afford to procrastinate? So have that one particular thought, you'll be able to handle it. Otherwise, you will unnecessarily drown in the zone of bullshit motivation. Don't get there. Have a clear-cut conversation. Remember this 3 days every single day. Just visualize this 3 days, and you will be able to do well. And just that one moment where you know that your name is being announced, CA Mitra Manikanda, CA Anshu, CA Harsha Gupta. When you're talking about it, CA Prasad. So when you're talking about that one particular movement which is getting announced, it's totally worth it, right? It's totally worth it. So that is exactly what you have to strive. That is exactly what you are working towards. So whether it's Harinath, Prasanna, Twinkle, Kavya, all of you, you're having the same linear goal, including Alvin, Anurag. So all of you, it's important for you to move in the direction. If you're not moving the direction, it's not right on your part to expect the result without putting in the effort. So be responsible, be conscious, and the kind of support which we are giving, I'm sure there is no one else who can do this because they work differently. A lot of people work in masses and their objective is different. Now focus on transformation, not information. So use this ecosystem. For this to happen, you have to be conducive. You have to be receptive so that we'll be able to achieve things in a far more better manner. Now, everybody who's on the screen right now, who is on the screen, I should be able to see all of you successful. Now, this is the target from now. Rachel is from this attempt. Everybody should clear. Why should they not clear? Everybody should clear. And for that to happen, you have to make sure at an individual level, you are very responsible. Okay. So this is the context of what I wanted you to understand and process today. So keep this in mind, and we'll have more conversations like this. And your next responsibility is continuing this until 9 o'clock, until breakfast, and make sure you maintain this momentum throughout the day. So start rubbing your palms, and place them on your eyes. And as you keep open your eyes with a smile on your face as you keep looking at your palms. Okay. So this gives the context. And I want all of you to stay in the live study session today for a while, like till 9 o'clock, see if you can stay, because that will increase the intensity and accountability of how you're doing things. So get your books and continue till 9 o'clock. At some point of time, we'll make it compulsory, but at least now we're making it recommendatory. But use this today, just continue it till 9 o'clock so that your target will be reasonably reached. Okay. All right, guys. We'll continue tomorrow. For now, I'm leaving the session open for live studies. Yeah.